There are a few more reasons, such as the irrigation for farming causes river channels to slit up, the tectonic plate uplifting in Himalayas that is contributing to flood, urbanization, lots of buildings and everything in Dhaka. It definitely has impact. The main one, or one of the biggest one that I want to discuss, and that actually causing a lot of flooding, is snow melt. And you may be thinking like, what you mean by snow melt? We don't have any snow in Bangladesh, but we do have snow in Asia, and we do have a lot of rivers in Asia. Let's talk about that part a little bit. So snow melt from Himalayas, it actually brings down a lot of water toward downstream. So if we think about the geographical location of Bangladesh, right, we are very low to the sea level, and everything above us, so like Nepal, India, Bhutan, China, they are very, very higher. So all the water and all the rivers that we have connection with those countries, those river water, they are just coming to downstream toward Bangladesh. And all those water, again, they do come to Bangladesh, but again, they don't have a way to get out of the country because the sea level is also up in Bangladesh. So if we look at the geographical map, so this is Bangladesh, and we already reviewed. Actually, let me go here. So this is Bangladesh, right? And we already reviewed we are very low to the sea level. When we come here, like in the Rangpur, Dinajpur, or Sylhet area, we are still like not too high. We are 200 to 300 above the sea level. And above us, if we see, we have a lot of hills and a lot of mountains. So all these mountains, because they are very high, so suppose like in Bhutan, this mountain near Tibet, 5,242, 5,600, 5,900. These mountains have a lot of snow on the top, right? Because as the mountain is high, it gets more colder and there is snow. So there are times this snow does melt. When this snow melts, it actually goes through the river. It actually just keeps going downstream and downstream and downstream. So all this water that melt, these are coming from India, from Nepal and other areas to Bangladesh. And if you think about what causing this snow melt, like not this snow never melted like the way it's melting right now because of global warming. Like global warming is one of the main cause of a lot of the issues. If we go back and look at this map, so Tibet has the biggest drinkable water in the whole Asia, and one of the longest river. I think it's not the longest, but it's one of the longest. It's almost like 3,000 miles. And this river just keeps going through the mountains. It's almost like Grand Canyon. So if you have seen Grand Canyon, lower to the Grand Canyon, you will see not too much water, but at least somewhat water. Most of this water is getting dry because also for global warming. And in Tibet, most of this water, they are just keep going up and up because the snow is melting each year and all this water just going down. That brings me to last and one of the main reason that we get a lot of flood in Bangladesh, and it is because of a lot of dams. There are quite a few of dams between Bangladesh and India. By between Bangladesh and India, I mean like these are Indian dams. Some of them are made with a contract with India and Bangladesh, but some of them are on Indian side, but those impact Bangladesh. And the two major ones are Farakka Dam and Tista Dam. So recently, there's a lot of news that India has opened these dams that actually bringing a lot of water from India toward Bangladesh. Now, I want to discuss this without picking any side, and I want everybody to understand that there are good reasons why we build dams, and there are also some negative impact of all these dams. So, why we build dams? Let's talk about that part. There are Could be multiple reasons, but the two main reasons people build dams, or most countries build dams. One is they want to preserve the water, or they want to save the water. So if there are lowlands and if they want to save this water for irrigation or for some other reason, they build a dam and they stop that water going to the other side, and the storage will be there. The another reason is hydropower. So what happens is when you build dam, you can create hydropower from that dam. You can open the water gates, right? And when you open the water gate, the water will go down flow, and the pressure of the water, it generates electricity. This electricity can be used for people of the country. So those are the main two reasons why the dams are being built, and there are a lot of dams being built in Indian side to make sure that this water can be saved for them, or they have their own reason why they want to save this water. Now, what happens when we build a lot of dams? One of the main reason people like a country build dam because of the climate change, and they want to make sure, as I said, they want to preserve the water for different kind of reason. But when we create a dam, there is two impacts: the overflow of water and also low flow of water. And by overflow and low flow, I mean like when the water level is very high, like when you start preserving the water, at some point the water going to keep rising and it's going to be almost fill. And the other situation is because you're saving a lot of water by barricading and creating this dam, the other side, there is not enough water. We should not mess with Mother Nature too much, especially water, because water has its own way to create channels and just move easily without any major impacts. But as soon we start creating dams and try to stop that normal flow of water, we are going to see some changes. So when water is not there, the lands are dry, the river is dry. But as soon you open the gate, there is an overflow of water. So usually if the water goes, let's say 5 miles per hour, as soon you open the dam gates, the water going to go probably 30 to 80 miles per hour. I don't know the exact number, but let's just say 40 miles per hour. When the water is running 40 miles per hour in a river bank where the water is very low, it's going to break all the corners, it's going to try to break the soil, and it's going to have an impact. So that's what happens a lot of the time. So when the water gets released, because the natural flow is not there, it is overflowing, it's going to keep breaking the river banks. So now let's talk about the dams that we have between India and Bangladesh, because that is one of the main concern a lot of the people are talking about, that the Farakaba dam, Tista dam, all these dams are being opened, the gates are being opened, that actually causing a lot of flooding in Bangladesh. So a lot of this is true. Yes, the gates of the dams are being opened, water now overflowing and coming toward Bangladesh, it is causing a lot of flood. If we go back when the dam was built in the first place, that is what actually a major issue. Because a lot of the time when in the summer, farmers complain that we don't have water, we cannot do fertilization or irrigation. But then again, in the rainy season, we have overwater. We all have a lot of rain, constant rain every day, every week. If we think about it, this rain doesn't only happen in Bangladesh, right? It also happens to our neighbor country like India, Nepal, and other countries. So as this rain impacts their country, the dam that they build, it actually increases the level of water. So when the water level of the dam is going high, so let's say this is the water level and the dam is here. So when it keep going high, at some point is going to have a lot of pressure that it may also break the dam. I mean, hopefully it doesn't happen. There was one dam that was destroyed in earthquake in China. There are multiple, but one of the biggest one, which actually caused 500 people to die. You can research on it in Google. But what my point is, like, because of the water level is going up and up and up, because the dam is holding all this water, it's going to overflow. And if the country doesn't release this water, then there is a higher possibility that this dam may break because of the pressure of the water. And what is going to happen when the dam breaks? All the water is going to come same time toward Bangladesh. That's going to make a huge impact and huge flooding. A lot of people will die. So before we blame another country that, oh, this country is opening all these gates and that's causing all this flooding and everything, we also have to think about, do they have a choice to not open the gate? So I don't know where the water level is in those area. There's a lot of fake videos and fake reels that I've been watching. Some of the reels, it says that, oh, India can open this particular dam, but then the dam actually has Chinese words in it. So it's not an Indian dam, it's a Chinese dam. So I would really, really suggest everybody to definitely be careful about what do you watch, because not necessarily what people are sharing it is accurate. A lot of the people they're sharing it just to get views, likes, and they're getting it, to be honest, because we are watching it without knowing the source of the video. And a lot of these videos are a political influence right now. Suppose Awam League or BNP, they probably are trying to use this kind of situation so that they can come to the power. Because right now, our country, Bangladesh, is running by Dr. Yunus. So it's going to be very easy to put the blame to the caretaker government and say it's all caretaker government's fault, because the caretaker government did not maintain a good relationship, or they don't know how to run a country. We are seeing this right now. Also, if you think about it, we had 25 years of contract with India about a lot of the water, how they should give us the water, and it divided between India and Bangladesh. A lot of those contracts are almost about to end, or they already ended. So we need to renew those contracts, and we need to have absolutely a better relationship with our neighbor country for our own benefit. There's another statement that a lot of people saying that Hasina told Modi government to release these dams, and that's why India actually releasing all this. I don't know how much of this is true or how much of this false, but this can be, to be honest, because um, we still don't know exactly what happened in Pilkhana. There are 56 army died in Pilkhana, right? There is a rumor that it is something that was done by Hasina, because army killed her father, I think back in 1975. So she wanted to take her revenge and she kind of destroyed the army. If it's true, then Hasina definitely have some good relationship with India, right? So if she has a good relationship with India, she can absolutely tell India that, hey, I am not in power anymore. They destroyed my father's statues. They peed on my father's statues. They destroyed my house. Why don't you just open the dam for me? Because she is very close to Modi government, right? And she could absolutely ask that, and Modi government and India may do that. But we don't know. I know we also cannot debunk this possibility. My understanding, what we can do is we need to have a better relationship with our neighbor country. We stop giving them our Ilish much. Stop buying all the Indian products. All this is fine. I understand there is a movement and we have a strong feeling about all these things, and we want to take action, and we are taking action. But we also have to understand that, is it going to be a good thing for us in the future? We cannot, I don't think we should be thinking only short term that, okay, this is how we should be boycotting India and Indian product, and then just live our life in Bangladesh, because we are dependent on the water that comes through India, and we are also dependent how this water going to impact Bangladesh when there is overflow. I also seen a lot of videos that India also had a lot of rain, a lot of rain, and a lot of their cows. I saw that with the river water, they just came to Bangladesh. I don't know how much is if it's true or not, but all these, India may not have a choice other than opening the gate. And if that's the case, they should have told us before they do it. I mean, it would be absolutely nice. And because we are a neighbor country and we had a good relationship, They should have informed us that, hey, we are going to open these gates. You're going to get a lot of water, but we also don't have too much choice rather than opening this gate because the water is going to overflow. And if we don't open the gate at some point, if there's something bad happens, if there is an earthquake and if the dam breaks, we cannot stop this water. So we rather let some water out and be safe. So if that is the case, yes, there is no choice. We don't have any solution. But yeah, that's the only thing they can do, and the only thing we can do is accept it and negotiate with them how much of water you're going to release, and what we can do. So what can we do to stop flood? If I'm being very honest and looking at the geographical location of Bangladesh and knowing that there is a lot of global warming, we cannot completely get rid of flood ever. It's just not going to be possible. We will have to adapt and we will have to live with flood. We can maintain it, but we cannot get rid of it. There are a few possible ways. One of them, I think, that may be a good solution is creating different lakes so that the water can get out from the river that actually causes a lot of flood. What do I mean by that? So we have the Meghna, Padda, or Brahmaputra, all these rivers. We can create more channels in those areas so that water can just don't go one way to downstream and toward the riverbank. It has more ways to get out, like it can spread. Now if we do that, we still have to let this water get out somehow toward the ocean or toward where we don't have a lot of land and this water can just go and stay there. I'm not sure how much of that's going to be possible, but that is a possibility, like creating more channels, creating more lakes, and let the water get out. But it's going to be very, very expensive because it's not like we can create 1 mile, 2 miles of lake. We have to keep creating lake. Water will just keep going through those lakes until it reaches to a point that okay, this water is not like 40 miles per hour anymore. It's just normal. That's one. And I think that would be a very good solution. Another solution could be making underground tunnel where the water will go toward sea. The mega dam that China is building, they are trying to create a tunnel in between the mountains, but they're trying to create a tunnel like this way because the mountain is here and the water exit is going to happen here, so the water is going to automatically flow. And because their land is very high, it's possible. For Bangladesh, because of the sea level, I don't know if it's possible or not, but this is a possibility. Another option is some people are talking about like building new dams in mega dam or big dams in front of those Indian dams. I don't know how that will work, but the land that we have is already lower than the dam that they already built. So if we want to build a dam, we have to build a dam that is much bigger and much higher. Also, we have to involve a lot of engineering because if we want to build a dam that is much bigger and much higher, this dam need to be very, very solid. We cannot just hire some regular engineer to build this because if there is an earthquake and if this dam breaks, we are going to not only lose the money, but also we are going to be in the same situation right now. And the final solution, and that is probably the most diplomatic solution, would be discussing and have a new agreement with India so that they maintain this water in a way that they don't overflow Bangladesh with water. Because end of the day, if you think about it, we are going to be the loser if we do not maintain a good relationship with India. Just because we are angry, we are Bengali and we have like some arrogance, like, oh, I don't care. We're going to figure it out. No, you're going to figure it out, okay, because you have money or your family lives abroad and you can talk like that, right? But what about the people who are living in Bangladesh who doesn't have money, who really live in the riverbank, who live based on those water? What's going to happen to them? Just because you are angry and you can make a stand and you can just make a decision that I don't care about India, I don't care about this country, I'm going to do whatever I want, and this is how I should run my country. That's not a diplomatic way. We have to think about all the people in the country. Everybody have a say to this situation, but I feel like we absolutely need to make a good relationship with India and also China so that water is maintained properly. And if we cannot like have a good relationship, and if we cannot make India stop releasing water, the last option would be we talk to United Nation and see if they can help us anyway. But I don't know. There's a lot of things going on right now in everywhere in the world. There is a genocide where Israel is killing all Palestinians. That is much bigger issue for United Nation than thinking about Bangladesh right now. Yes, it is an issue, but it's not a major issue compared to that particular issue. So from my perspective, I would say the best solution would be having a good relationship with India, having a new contract with them, how we are going to share this water, when they can release the water, what are the steps they have to take before they release the water, what are the measures we can take when they release water. So yeah, we do have to create some tunnels maybe, or some channels where we can really let this water get out of the country. Just building a big dam before in front of those dam, I don't think is going to be a good solution, but we'll have to see, and I hope we come up with a good solution. All right, that's all for today, and let me know, what do you think? Do you think we can prevent flood in Bangladesh, or do you think no, we have to maintain flood, and we have to live our life with flood, and you have some good plans that can be helpful toward making this possible. Thank you for listening, and thank you for staying with me. My name is Knight, and thank you for joining the other side.